And welcome back to Open Studio. I am Steve Leahy, I think. Happy Wednesday, everyone. What is going on? All right, as promised, we're jumping right back in. Jumping right back into it. All right. So that little turquoise building is what we did last week, or one of the things we did. So we're going to just knock that one out and keep rolling. Building. Oh, the windows in this one are neat because kind of half and half. You can see them. They're half gray, and like on the right hand side, they're gray and then black on the left hand side for whatever reason. So we're gonna do that because we can, because it's a thing. So I'll grab some gray here. I'm gonna do all the windows in gray. You guys love when I have to concentrate. I was going to say constipate. That too. You guys love when I have to concentrate because I can't talk when I'm painting. So I'm sure you all enjoy that. All right, so that's the gray. So I'll grab a little bit of black here. And now I can put in the 4 windows or 4 floors of black. Why are they this way? I don't know. I don't have to know. I just have to do it. There we go. Okay, so this little turquoise building's got some stuff going on the roof, but it's also got a little bit grayer roof than I have it. I don't know that I overly... Well, what the heck. Let that dry a little bit. I went a little bit heavy with that just so I could cover it. You know, I didn't want to have to do it a million times, so we're going to let that dry. Okay, now next to this thing, this is where I was having minor fits last week because I didn't have enough of it cut out and it's super small. So, you know what would help if I had a copy that I could see that. Yeah, it is tiny. Yikes. Let's find a better copy. All my copies are spread out behind me here, and I'm terribly unorganized right now. So, I got them. I got them. Let's grab one of these. I can see what the heck I'm doing. Right. So again, when I start to get like bogged down, like the little buildings that are going on right in between here, it's tough to kind of make the call because there's not enough, you know, like what am I trying to say, landmarks in there, road signs, whatever. So that's when I jump back to the copy because again, I'm overthinking things. There's a little turquoise building right there and see all the stuff next to it. So it's, you know, looking at the copy again is really helpful because it just kind of, it resets me. Instead of looking at the, you know, the super expanded tablet version of it, which has a bunch of detail in it, I'm like, what the heck? I just kind of, you know, jump back and look at the photocopy and say, okay, a lot of that you can't even see. So I'm stressing over it and it's not even going to show up, even if even if I did what we were talking about last week and had a microscope and, you know, start putting all this stuff in, I'm just not going to be able to see it. Okay, so that's my little turquoise building next to that one. Let's do some stuff and more stuff. There we go. Okay, and then a bunch of white down in there. Why do I feel like the gap is too big there? Like I feel like I'm doing the same thing twice. Let's go to the tape, so to speak. Let me cut one of these out. I have all the copies right here, but I'm going to cut one out just so I can flip it. With a painting like this, like, all right, so 543, usually if I have 2 sheets, which have, what, 6, so 12 individual copies, that's usually enough to do an entire 543. A painting like this can take, 20, 30, 40 individual copies. And it's just because of the level of, detail and what gets put into them. All right, so we're going to line this up, and I'm going to see what's going on here. Oh, no way. That's not ideal. All right, here's my first screw up. All right. How did I do that? Yep. Okay, I know what's wrong now. All right, so my issue here was I'm painting in the little square, buildings in between, the turquoise building and this building with the curved windows here, right? And I seem to have extra space, like I'm putting in all this stuff, but yet here it is again right here. And I'm like, what's going on there? Why doesn't that work? And I'll show you why. Because I screwed up this building right here. Show you. I'll show you. So let me line this up. I think it's not going to be a terribly hard fix, but still, it's it's why things got messed up. Make sure that's good. How are we looking up there? Pretty good. So I'm going to lock this down with a big magnet. Now, what I have here is, you'll see when I pull it. So you get this block of the front of the building, this building, and then the third section has these curved windows on it. But when I flip mine up real quick, I have the curved windows in the second section. I'm totally missing the other one. See it? So there's those are the curved windows right there. And when I flip it up, they disappear. Hooray! All right, problem solved. Again, here we go. This is same deal here, kids. If I just fill in the middle of these two with a bunch of stuff, is anyone ever going to know? Well, yes, now you guys are. And I fully expect someone would say, hey, between those two buildings, that's all wrong. And I would be like, oh, you were watching. So we're going to fix them. So what we'll do is we need just like we fixed the other building, I'm going to need to come up with a erasing color. So a light gray that matches the front of this building. We're going to take out those curvy windows in preparation to fix the curvy windows and move them out. So the good news is the curvy windows are out here. Like out here. So I can start working on those while I'm fixing the other windows. I think I got to change a few things here with this one too, or this one here. Yeah. No, not really. I take it back. I don't really have to. Okay, so this is the edge of the curvy windows right here. Stunning. And now that my old curvy windows are starting to dry, they've become more transparent, which is sometimes what happens depending on how you mix the paint. So I know that's dry, so we'll go over it again. We're just looking to erase it right off. And this is way easier than physically trying to erase those little black lines or scratching them off or, doing any other kind of weirdness. So next to those, these have a line going through them too, which I didn't have on the other ones because I thought they were the other ones. So those are like that now, and I can live with those. Okay, good. This thing, I don't know why this is black. This needs to be gray too. Good, good, good. It's good because it was kind of driving me nuts. Like I was working on, the details on that side, and I'm like, wait, there's extra space. Why is there so much extra space? That shouldn't be there. Stuff happens all the time. There we go. Yeah, not bad. Not a bad repair. Could have been worse. Could have been way worse. I gotta let that dry. That's still kind of shitola. Yeah, it's not a bad word because I added ola at the end. God. All right, that's good. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm being impatient. Being an impatient cow. All right, so let's keep going above then on that so I can do something while I'm waiting. What's going on there? Let's take a look at that real quick. No, I can't. Take too long to get all that put together. All right. And wait, there is no black line between the curvy windows. No, wait, what am I doing now? Don't screw it up again. Oh, I got to add all those windows. Gotcha. Okay. This line doesn't belong here. It belongs over here. Yep. Wait, did I screwed that up again? Jeebus. I did the same thing. There's no division between those windows. There is, but it's 3 windows, not 2. So we'll get that thing out of there. Move this line over a little bit. That is much better. Erase that line, get these in one more coat, and I think we're good. Leaving a little bit of that repair underneath is actually great, because then everything isn't so smooth, It's a little bit more, it's got some texture and it's got some movement in it. All right, so before I go too far, I don't want to forget, this guy has 3 windows. That's way better. 3 windows in that. Can let that dry a little bit more. I can put in the other windows. This one, which actually do line up, yeah? A little bit off. This is not acceptable paint. I'm finally out of parchment. This is the last piece of wet palette parchment that I have. You guys can do the checking. I can't really remember, but this is the original package of parchment, 50 sheets that I got when I got the wet palette, whenever that was. I had to have been at least 2 years ago now. So depending on how frequently you paint, I use drops of paint, and I do paint every day, but even with that, it took me that long to go through all those pieces of parchment. I'm super in love with this thing. Again, this is a red grass wet palette. So, excuse me. So I have to place an order with them, and it's great because now you can get them there. I believe it's a German company. I ordered mine from Germany when I first got it, but now you can get them everywhere. So That is lovely. Excuse me, because now I don't have to, I had to wait a little while for my wet palette originally because it was coming from overseas. But now for the replacement stuff, which I'm going to order a new, I have a brand new foam, there's a foam pad underneath, which is what really holds the water. I'm going to, mine got opened and it got kind of weird. I think it still is going to work, but just in case it doesn't, I'm going to order another foam pad and another package of parchment. And before anyone jumps in and says, "Oh, don't buy their parchment, just make your own," I've done this. I've made a wet palette before. It's a pain in the butt. This has worked flawlessly for me, and I will pay them the money for their stuff because, again, whatever they did or whatever they're doing, I don't need to figure it out. It's super cost effective for me to just order, new parchment, new foam. And if something happens to this palette, I am immediately ordering another one, just like that. It is that good. It has become, definitely part of the indispensable stuff around here. All right. Great. Now I got it. So I've got those guys in there. So now I can start with the curvy windows. And the curvy windows start thin and then end a little bit thicker like that. Excellent. So much better. And that solves my problems with this guy right here now. Yay! Excellent. Excellent. I'm super happy about that. That was driving me nuts. I'm like, why can't I figure out what's going on there? It doesn't make any sense at all. Now I know why. So funny because I've mentioned, I don't know when I mentioned it, but anyway, I've been super busy. I got a real, a larger scale painting. It's like 16 by 20. It's also a cityscape. So it's interesting working on this one and that one at the same time because, the other one is so much bigger. There's so much more room to move around. It's like going from this one to that one is like crazy, but also fun. It's nice to have both to kind of bounce back and forth on. Good. Good. I'm happy about that. Okay. Good. Nice. It's weird. It's a weird feeling, and I don't know. You guys can let me know if you're a painter or whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. You could do with anything. But when something like that happens and there's a problem that I don't have my finger on yet, there's like this weird discontentment and followed by a really nice feeling of contentment when you sort it out. And I do understand that, in my life that it happens with other things as well. It really happens in a different way with art. Like I really like, I don't know, it's a different feeling. All right, that's great. I got that whole section now kind of bumped in. There's a little bit of airbrushing that needs to go on there, but I'm happy with that. And what I said last time about going north right to the river, I don't know if that's north, but on the panel north. I'm not. I'm gonna because this little hole right here, just next to the palette cam, this one right here bugs me. So I think I want to start dealing with that one. What is that? He asks. It's a little tiny white building. Do I need to airbrush that white building? Yes, I do. Okay, good. Still got white and black in the brush, so that's fantastic. Can I use this one? Yeah, I can, because it's that's little pointy building right there, little thing on the top. That's what we're doing. So yes, so I can use this template. These templates become impossible, well, not impossible, but they become difficult to figure out, like what's like, oops, like with 543s, it's like one template's white, one template is for black, one template's for like light gray or whatever. These get so many different things on one. It becomes a lot harder to figure out, like, you know, I can't just grab like the black template. The original ones I don't really cut more into because they're so cut up anyway. But these ones here where I'm just like taking little bits and pieces out, I'll use this whole thing like all the way up the painting. So some cutouts will be light, some cutouts will be dark. Again, if you're doing this, the trick is to really be careful when you're reusing templates, because if I, like this building is white here, but all this other detail around it that I cut out, for instance, well, they're kind of white too, but if they were all black and I go and squirt white in here really hard, it's going to put white in, you know, through all these other holes too, which is bad because then I'll have to fix all that, and we don't like doing that. All right, this little guy. Is there anything else in this general neighborhood? I bet I got all that. Let's look. Yeah, I've got the top of those two buildings, which is what I was looking at, and the roof of that one. So that's good. And the roof of that one. So that's good too. That building is black. This building here is gray. So we're good. Okay, we'll just do that. Be a good spot. What do we got left here? 8 minutes. So that's perfect to get this little whatever started. Oops, sorry. Bumping everything. Guys are super close. So this goes here. Oops. This goes more like here. Yeah. 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 Lovely. All right, so this has a darker side on one side, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to get the building in. Or could I be tricky about it? Could be tricky. Do I have a small enough piece to be tricky? I need something straight. Oh my gosh. I got to clean up around here. This is the cutout. All right, so it's October. It's the end of October, beginning of November. This is the cutout from my I think my Veterans Day or Memorial Day piece. Shouldn't still be on the bench. So I'm going to be tricky because I've got gray on here already. So I'm going to use this to just paint the front of the building like brighter white, while leaving the side of the building a little bit grayed out. Like that. Tricky, tricky, tricky. But saves a little bit of time. Good. Lovely. What's going on? Why did I miss the whole front of this building? Yeah, that's all dark gray. Oh, because I didn't do the top of this building. That's why. All right, good. Solving problems. Solving problems. We're not going to be able to solve all the problems in this episode, but that's okay. We'll get a bunch of them. So this little... There we go. Let's make sure we get this thing defined. It goes this way. Obviously my template wasn't great because I didn't cut it out specifically for it, so there's a little bit of weirdness right there, but that's easily fixed. Like that. We'll do that building next time, maybe. Yeah, this little section right here needs to be done too. Good. And then there's airbrushing on this, so I'm not worried about that. So we'll just get the windows in on this side. Goes on the side too. I hate these windows. They did not come out good. And they're on a white building too, so that's, I'll have to wait for that to dry. That was terrible. Okay. We don't like terrible. Oh, and look, they dried. They just washed out when they dried. Huh. Well, at least that makes it easy to fix them. I swear one of these episodes, the chair that I'm sitting on is going to bust apart. That's what happens when you buy cheap stuff, you know? I have my drafting chair that came with my drafting tables, and closest I can tell, they are like, the chair is probably, it's old. I think they're older than the two drafting tables, and the drafting tables were from the 70s. So I think the chair is from maybe the mid to late 60s, and still, it did break, but it broke in a way that a welder buddy of mine was able to just weld it back together, and it was good as new. So still, you're talking, you know, almost 60 years of use, and it just needed to be rewelded, and it was back in business. I guarantee this chair that I'm sitting on now isn't going to make it the year. And I got it a year ago, so don't get me started. It's too late in the day for this soapbox. That, you know, everything. We're living in a disposable world now. Which is upsetting. Because there isn't I don't know, man. Like, I get it. You know, I get, like, TVs, for instance. They're literally disposable now. Where, like, you know, you bought a TV in the 80s, and you would need to have that TV for, like, you know, 10 years or 15 years or whatever. So now it's not that way. But it isn't even that way with, like, appliances, like big appliances anymore. Like, you see those old cool refrigerators from the 50s, and, you know, there are people restoring them because you can do that. You know, once you run through them and, you know, get all the bits and pieces working again, you have this cool refrigerator, right? But no one would take a refrigerator from today and restore it, because it's just disposable. And it's sad that, you know, we're okay with that, you know? There, I soapboxed, and I still soapboxed and got the soapbox done before we had to leave. Get sucked into that one. I have a lot to say about the disposableness of us these days. Makes me sad. You know, it's like, I understand some companies feel that, you know, they build things to break so that you'll turn around and buy a new one, and they keep their customers coming in. But, and I don't have one here, but, like, I have my very first airbrush. This isn't it, but it's the same brand, Iwata. So I have my very first airbrush still that I bought in 1989, 88 was the first one. I still have it. It still works. It's still good. You know, it's all great. So you know what happened? Even though that airbrush never broke, I bought more of them. Now, you're not going to do that with refrigerators and, you know, cooktops. I understand that. Like, if your cooktop lasts 30 years, you're not going to buy 12 more of them. But for most things, you know, if you build me something that's going to last, like a tool, I'm going to buy more and different kinds of tools from that company. So, I don't know. I still got it done before the end of the episode. So here we go. Here is your full view of my newly repaired painting. Everything's looking good. We're trucking right along now, making some time. Again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Please hit that like and subscribe. If you are not already subscribed, I would love to have you on board. If you'd like to help us out financially, which is gigantic, it really keeps the lights on here. You can become a member here on YouTube. You get early access to the time-lapse video every Tuesday. You guys get to see it as soon as I finish it, which is usually the end of the week before. If you want to become a Patreon member, that's gigantic too. I really, really appreciate that. And that's what I got. So here you go. Thank you all for coming by tonight, and I will catch you guys all on the next one. Thanks a lot.